see, September 20th, 2013. It was raining an hour ago. I didn't know if anybody was going to show up, but I went home. It was raining, but then I looked on the radar, and all the rain had gone past. So I thought I'd come back out, and I'm glad I did. So
I'm glad it stopped, because it's always like when it's supposed to rain. It doesn't rain when I'm working because I do landscaping, but then it'll rain when I'm done.
Yeah, isn't that awful?
Yeah.
So the idea behind these clinics are just to do a lot of demonstration to see how a good player, swings, what a good player, how the ball flies when he hits it. Good demonstration. You can see where I was practicing yesterday, that patch of divots there, in this nice little patch like I got going here. One of the difference between good players and everybody else is when they practice, they'll take a nice patch of divots and they'll put the ball. See, I got the ball just in front of the divot there. So when I take the divots, I'm not taking a divot here and a divot there and a divot here and a divot there. Now the reason good players do that and everybody else doesn't is because good players are trying to maximize the turf. If you took out a whole chunk of dirt right there and then took a whole chunk of dirt out, I'm taking out just a little bit of grass and more dirt. So when the green superintendent, which is me, comes by to repair the divots, it's easier to repair and the turf lasts longer. So that's just one of those things that technology can't help you with. They can't. If you look at that there, now when you're done hitting your bucket of balls, if you look and see what kind of patch you got, technology's great. I can look at the weather map and I can see whether it's going to rain, and I can see that it went by, so I came back out. So there's a lot of advantages of technology. But what I thought I'd talk about and demonstrate was. Again, to continue with the theme of what's the difference between good players and everybody else, well, this would be one. Just how do you practice? So, that's a beautiful, pure, little cut 7-iron, boom, like that.
So what if you don't take a divot at all? Do we have to worry about that, or we just need to work on our golf game? I wish who you were speaking to helped me, but I don't even take a divot.
Well, that's why you come to these things.
Exactly.
Because this is a great way to learn how to be a better golfer, and by asking questions, I always encourage the participants to ask questions. I don't want anybody to leave with any lingering questions that they might have had that they wanted to get answered.
So a question I would have then is what is different when I have a good shot and I'm not taking a divot at all, and it seems to be that I hit it perfect, versus taking a divot and it also being a good shot?
Well, if you hit a good shot and you're not taking a divot, I could care less.
Okay.
I don't care if you don't take any divots if you're hitting good shots. I only care about two things: low scores and good shots. That's all I care about. And in golf, there's a wiggle room, meaning that there's more than one way to skin a cat. Now, there's been some really good players that don't take much turf, but they're few and far between. Steve Stricker doesn't take much of a divot. But if you watch Tiger, he'll be hitting a 5-wood off a tee. He'll take a chunk of dirt out, as big as my foot. And Lee Trevino, if I got somebody like you that's having trouble hitting down on the ball and taking divots after they hit the ball, I tell them take a Lee Trevino divot, which is a great big pelt. When I play my best golf, they're still repairing the divots at Detroit Golf Club where I was the assistant pro, because I slid so far out in front of the ball and came over it so much that I was taking out these huge big chunks of dirt and grass. But by God, I was shooting in the 60s every time I played.
Right.
So I was beating down and across the ball and playing a power fade, just like that 7-iron I hit there. So a guy like you has a normal problem. You're just a normal golfer. Golfers have trouble hitting down on the ball. Why is that? Well, it's because when they first started playing golf, they couldn't get the ball up in the air. And everybody that plays golf wants to get the ball up in the air. It's the first skill you learn as a golfer. And so golfers will try to lift or help the ball up in the air. And if the club is rising, near the ground, you won't get a divot.
That's why.
Yeah,
End up
yeah,
back.
hit it off their back foot, uncock their wrist too soon, you know, and so if they do hit the ground, they usually hit it behind the ball. So, you know, a golf club is designed with loft. You know, there's the angle of the face. This is a 5-iron. It's got approximately 27 degrees of loft on it. And so when you hit a golf ball correctly, your hands will be a little bit ahead of the ball, and the shaft will be leaning a little bit this way because the club is coming down. And when that ball hits the face, it'll smash against the face like a basketball compresses against the floor. It'll rebound off the face. It'll climb up the face and with backspin. Backspin is what makes the ball fly straight and makes it go up. So in golf, you have to hit down to make the ball go up.
I always wonder for the backspin. Does it matter the club you have, or can you do it with any club? It's just a matter of how you hit it.
The ball wouldn't get up in the air if it didn't have backspin on it. So driver has backspin. If you have too much backspin, it balloons up like this.
That's like the number one thing I
If you don't have enough spin, it goes low, too low. See, but a wedge will spin more than a driver. Why? Because it's got more angle to the face.
Right. It's a bigger face, right?
Well, it's a bigger angle. Right. It's made to go short and high, produces more backspin. Straighter. It's easier to hit straight, and it goes higher. It goes shorter. The harder you swing, it just goes higher and shorter. Right. That's why you don't swing hard with your wedges, because they don't go any further. You just put more backspin on it, and as you're into the wind will blow it right back in your face. See? Now you can take a wedge. You know, this is a 57-degree wedge, okay? And I can play it back in my stance, and I can close the face, okay, like this. And I can turn it into like an 8-iron. But I have to manipulate that club like that to take the loft off. See? So if I want to just use the true loft of this club, I'm going to hit down.
Sorry about that.
And the ball goes high and short like it's designed to go. So, but I spend a lot of time instructing people how to take divots, how to hit down on the ball. A lot of golfers it's just a normal problem. You're a normal golfer if you have trouble taking divots. And the underlying cause of that is the fear of not getting the ball up in the air. And so the golfers try to lift or help the ball up in the air.
What are they doing? Are they, when they're trying to lift, are they doing it subconsciously?
Yeah.
You know.
If you got a pond in front of halfway between you and the green, and if you don't get it over that pond, you're going in the pond. Yeah, you want to get it up in the air. Yeah, so it's a subconscious fear that you have to override by either learning to do it correctly when you start playing golf, which most people don't. You know, they just pick up a club and start flailing away. Or you have to correct it if it's a fault, you know, to hit down on the ball to make it go up. Another problem is drivers that are ill-fitted. If there's not enough effective loft on a driver, golfers will stay on their back foot and try to lift or help the ball up in the air with their driver if it's not going high enough. And with a driver off a tee, you can hit off your back foot and hit like this and still get what looks like a good shot. See, maybe that's what you're seeing. But if you make that same swing with a 9-iron or a 7-iron, you top it or you hit it fat or you hit it thin, you hit it off the bottom scoring line, the ball goes too low.
Well, I've actually experienced that because I didn't know this, but I was hitting what seemed to be straight down the center drives, and they were literally falling at 200 yards. And I was explained that my face still isn't square, so even if you're not square, you can still hit the ball perfectly straight.
Yeah, if you have the right combo of cutting across,
right,
and openingness and downness, right, you can hit what appears to be a straight shot.
Yeah, it's like, sure, everybody's like, oh, good drive. You get up there, it's like, that was 185 yards. What the hell happened?
Yeah.
You know, so that's what.
Yeah.
So I do
so that's what's good about,
saying.
When you put your swing on a video camera, you can see that. Yeah, that was a good shot. Oh no, you can see it was an illusion because it wasn't a swing that you could use throughout the whole set and produce the same ball flight.
Right.
Yeah, it was just a fluke where everything kind of lined up correct. Your compensating motions in your swing caused the ball to fly fairly straight and fairly far, but it's an inconsistent way to play golf. So I wanted to answer your question from last week too, where You asked me when I hit some poor drives when I was demonstrating.
Yeah.
I said that didn't bother me. Well, it didn't bother me at that point because I know I'm driving the ball good. But if I were to go play golf and I was trying something new, a new driver, and I was playing in a tournament or I was trying a new swing thought, which is normal, you know, because you're always trying to get better, so you try things that are new. If I hit one or two bad shots, I would quit using that swing thought. I would have to think and try something else. I wouldn't use that same swing thought the whole round just to prove a point. All right. So I you know, throughout my career, one of my skills has been the ability to say, hey, time out, you got to try something different. You know, you're not shooting low scores, you're not hitting good shots in the middle of a tournament. You know, I won my biggest tournament, the Chicago Open. I made a swing change, you know, halfway through the tournament. You know, I made a mind change too, a mental approach to how I played. And I went from missing the cut to winning the tournament. So I went from playing, you know, I was 5 over par after 26 holes. And then I played the last, bless you, I played the next stretch of 20 holes. I played them, what did I play, like for 10 under at Beverly Country Club. You know, I played a stretch of 20 holes, 10 under par, and a course that if you put a lot of trees on open hills, it'd be comparable to that. So I just went from, you know, just because I was smart enough to make a change, because I knew what I was doing wasn't going to get me anywhere, and I won the tournament. So I've done that a lot. And I remember Gary Player, he won the U.S. Senior Open in Medina, and he said he changed his swing 5 times in the course of 4 rounds. So I played golf, played a practice round with Gary Player at Kiowa Island for the senior PGA. And I asked him about it. He says, yeah. He says, you know, you can't, you know, you gotta, in golf you have to adapt.
So, let's say the kind of adaptation you're talking about is your draw isn't working. It's not working. Do you start just playing the fade?
Bob, I'm going to go say hi to Barry.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, you can try anything.
Try anything,
you know,
okay.
Try anything. I mean, try anything because you know what you're doing is not going to work. You know, and so you try something else, that doesn't work. Or you try something else, that doesn't work. You try something else, that doesn't work. You try something that works.
And
you
ride
do it again, it works. So, you know, then you can try to ride that horse for as long as you can. So that's another one of those differences between good players and everybody else. You know, a good player will, you know, adjust his game when it needs to be adjusted, and sometimes that's on the fly. You know, sometimes that's when you're pulling your club out of your bag. You say, you know what, that's not the right club. I'm going to try another club because they're paying attention. You know, they're sharp. So here's that. This is what I call my Arnold Palmer shot. See that ball start a little left that white flag, now it's curving back. Boom. Okay. Beautiful shot. 5-iron. I call it my Arnold Palmer shot because I played a practice round with Arnold Palmer the day before the U.S. Open at Marion, and I was so nervous starting out. I mean, there were thousands of people following us, and they announced me to the tee, you know, and they announced Arnold, and you know, it was just so, you know, I sliced my drive into the fairway bunker on the first hole and managed to get it on the green and make a par. Next hole, I sliced my drive. I think I bogeyed. And then the next hole is a par 3, uphill par 3. I hit first because we were playing a best ball. Dana Quigley was my partner. We were playing George Burns and Arnold Palmer, $20 Nassau. And I got up there with my 5-iron, and I hit that shot. I aimed straight, but I came across it a little bit, hit that power fade a foot from the hole. And that got me going. And I kept the tee the whole rest of the way. So that's my Arnold Palmer shot. And that's the swing on